What's going on, everybody? It's Kellen Nitro for Nitro Maniac TV's Wrestling Unlimited, coming at you with a impromptu Nitros. Take a quick one, as AEW had a network special on TNT earlier in the evening, or yesterday, depending on when you're watching this. I'm doing this Han Solo tonight. It is a recap of AEW's Battle of the Belts, which took place from the Bojangles Coliseum in Charlotte, North Carolina. The date was January 8th, 2022. And 3 matches made up this title special. The cool deal was they were all for a belt. So it was the Battle of the Belts. Not Battle for the Belts, but Battle of the Belts. I don't know if that's grammatically correct or not, but anyway, here's my take on the night's happenings. So our opening contest was for the interim TNT title. Yes, interim TNT title. The contest was between Dustin Rhodes and Sammy Guevara. Here's the story. Cody's got COVID. The original match was to be Cody and Sammy Guevara, so the winner will unify with Cody and his title, which is a TNT championship right now, at a later date. So basically, a #1 contendership match for the TNT title, or an interim championship. But anyway, whatever. David Crockett at ringside. They are in Jim Crockett territory, so of course, awesome to see a wrestling legend there. And another very interesting figure at ringside, Humpy Wheeler, who is the owner of the Charlotte Motor Speedway. You know what? This is very interesting. This might be a little bit more interesting for me than anybody else, because being a racing fan and that stuff, I'm kind of wondering why Humpy was sitting ringside at an AEW event. Might be along the lines of, hey, maybe a NASCAR team has AEW contracted for a sponsorship for maybe one of the races at Charlotte this year, maybe the Roval race or the 600 or something. We'll have to wait and see with that. Or, and maybe a more likely scenario, he's scouting the product out to see if that would work at a outdoor venue such as, well, the Charlotte Oval. Maybe there might be an outdoor show where they utilize the infield of Charlotte Motor Speedway, set up the ring there and that stuff, and the grandstand section is used for, seating for this. Maybe they can pull 40,000 for a outdoor show in Charlotte at the Motor Speedway. Very interesting times we live in here, but be very interesting to see if anything comes of this later this year or not. I'm still going to be paying attention to this. Anyway, the match starts, and both guys are selling knee injuries early here. Code Red by Dustin, only nets a 2 count. Sammy's finished a GTH, only nets 2, which is basically his version of the go to sleep. Fuego del Sol pops out from under the ring, but Arn Anderson chases him off, a very funny spot. And then the amazing Canadian Destroyer by Dustin on Sammy through the table on the outside. Wow, unreal. Both men exchange roll-ups, but Sammy gets the last laugh with the roll-up and the 1-2-3 count. The interim TNT champion is Sammy Guevara, and the runtime for this thing was 16 minutes and 15 seconds. Post-match, Daniel Garcia hits the ring and confronts Sammy. The two brawl. They go to a commercial break and come back from commercial, and it's announced Wednesday, Dynamite, we will have Daniel Garcia versus Sammy Guevara. Title on the line. Love it. Love all of this. Nothing negative to say here. I love this build. Let's make it happen. Eventually, and you can have the Cody-Sammy unification match for these two belts whenever you want. Hell, you can even put this off all the way until Double or Nothing in May if you wanted to. But, or if this is a thing even coming up to Revolution. I forgot that Revolution's even coming up. So, yeah, Revolution, March, whenever that is. I think the first weekend in March is when that pay-per-view is slated to go this year. You could keep this storyline going till then. It's fresh enough that you could have, both men maybe defend their versions of the titles even on the same show. You have the interim title and the TNT title, defended in separate matches and that stuff, or on separate weeks, and just lead into this big, title unification thing between Cody and Sammy. And that's where the rematch should be on the pay-per-view. So that's how I look at it, at least. FTW Championship on the line. Matt Sydal, the challenger, versus Ricky Starks, the champion. This is kind of a continuation of the Dante Martin, Leo Rush versus Team Taz feud, as Sydal was the first mentor for Dante Martin. But this was a very decent match, I found. The finish for this thing, big spear and the Rochambeau finish by Starks, nets the 1-2-3 count. And then post-match, Team Taz lays the beat down. Lee Moriarty hits the ring. He gets knocked out, but Dante Martin hits the ring and throws Team Taz out of the ring, including Will Hobbs, and that sets up the Will Hobbs-Dante Martin match coming up on Dynamite here this upcoming Wednesday fairly nicely. So the runtime, this was the shortest match of the show at 9 minutes even. Serviceable match, kind of reestablishes the FTW belt. It had been off of TV for quite a while, actually. I want to say the last half of 2021. We didn't really have, since the Brian Cage split from Team Taz and Ricky Starks picking up the FTW title under nefarious means to begin with the establishment of Hook and everything. I think they're trying to establish this FTW belt to mean something again. So maybe either Dante Martin takes it off of Ricky Starks in the future, and then eventually we have the collision of Dante Martin versus Hook, and maybe. But I think in the long run, Hook walks out with the FTW belt at some point during the end of this. So, but yeah, this is another storyline that'll take a while to tie up. A lot of loose ends being tied up with this, but looking forward to see what comes out of it. Then the main event match, the AEW World Women's Championship on the line. Dr. Britt Baker, D.M.D, taking on Rhea. Will the dissension show between Hayter and Baker again that started last night on Rampage? We have to wait and see with this match, but we didn't have to wait very long. Yeah, Hayter and Baker not working together at all with this after Rhea opens up with the advantage a little bit early on. A very nice back and forth contest. Rebel wiped out by Rhea, double stomp on the apron. There was a dragon suplex attempt. It got reversed by Britt Baker. That was a wow moment. Hayter drops the belt into the ring. Rebel grabs the belt, but she's ejected from the ring because the ref catches Rebel with the belt and is thinking Rebel is going to hit Rhea with the belt. So she gets ejected, but Hayter gets to stay at ringside. Another back and forth sequence, and then finally Baker locks in the lockjaw for the submission win, but definitely some cracks in the D.M.D office. Hayter at the end of the match, post-match, forcibly grabs the belt from Rebel and hands it to Baker, so something brewing along that storyline. I think inevitably we will see Jamie Hayter versus Britt Baker down the road, where the former Muscle will reach out on her own and try to destroy the D.M.D office, if you will, from within. But, man, the runtime for this one, 12:47. Thought it was a solid main event. Fairly solid main event for that special. But it's not important what I think. It's more important what you guys think. So you can follow me on Twitter at KellenNitro, and after these pay-per-views and major specials, I will always throw up a Match of the Night poll. So, and you guys decided that Sammy Guevara and Dustin Rhodes are the Match of the Night of this card. Just narrowly edging out Rhea and Britt Baker for their choice for Match of the Night. So there we go. That was your fave match of the evening. So bang on. We also have a question that came across here. We'll hit this up from Carly over on Twitter. She asks, does everyone have to have a entourage to the ring? Would like that to be cleaned up. Singles match, single competitor comes to the ring, tag team, and possibly one manager. Seems like too much interference bits lately for me. Well, Carly, what I think is going on is I think that's the New Japan influence of AEW. Remember, New Japan is a promotion that's basically run by factions. Everybody is in a faction in New Japan. So I think a little bit of that influence obviously creeped into AEW because look who's running the company. It's all ex-New Japan middle and upper card talent. So I think that's why the factions and groups and so much are running amok right now in AEW. I personally don't have an issue with it, but I could see where a lot of people would. But anyway, that's just my explanation about that. Great question. All right, folks, out of 10, I will give the special a 7 out of 10. I think that it was very functional in moving some of the mid-card storylines that they have established right now towards Revolution a little bit. We finally get a little bit of a quick fix, if you will, because of Cody's COVID-19 positive test. Now the pressure's off him for a little bit so he can recover and heal, as TNT champion, and they still have Sammy Guevara as the interim TNT champion, and you can have both belts. Maybe a ladder match will settle it at a pay-per-view. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But, with that being the Match of the Night pick, hey, great on everybody. Love it. That's a good choice. We saw the Dr. Baker, Jamie Hayter, kind of the seeds planted over the last couple of days of this potential splitting of the two, and maybe a feud a little bit later on, perhaps for the AEW World Women's title. So we'll have to wait and see about that. But anyways, later days, I'm Kellen Nitro. We'll talk to you next time here on Nitromaniac TV's Wrestling Unlimited. Do take care, stay safe, stay warm, and we'll catch you next time on the channel.